My name is Maya. I am 27 years old, and I live in a small apartment in the historic district of New Orleans. It's a charming neighborhood with narrow streets, old brick buildings, and the faint scent of jazz drifting in the air at night. Many people think I live a dream life. I have a steady job as a museum curator, a close circle of friends, and a quiet, orderly home. But the truth is, I live in fear. Every day I wake up feeling like I'm walking on a tightrope. 1 year ago, I made the worst mistake of my life. I married a man named Ethan. He is 34 years old. Ethan is intelligent, ambitious, and magnetic. People are drawn to him, but I am not. I married him not because of love, but because I was desperate, lonely, and blinded by the charm I thought would protect me from my past. At the time, I had just ended a long-term relationship with someone who had haunted my life in ways I couldn't escape. I thought marriage would shield me from loneliness. I thought it would give me stability. I thought somehow I could trick my heart into feeling love. But love never came. And now, every day is a torment. Ethan tries to make me happy. He leaves flowers on the table, even when I don't notice. He cooks elaborate meals and insists we eat together. He whispers my name at night as if calling me into a dream I can't enter. Many women would feel lucky to be wanted like that. But I feel trapped, like a bird in a cage with no door. One night, I heard him moving around the apartment. I peeked through the crack in the bedroom door and saw him holding a small box. He looked nervous, almost childlike, as if the universe itself had demanded he propose again. He whispered, "Maya, I know you're distant, but I'll wait. I'll wait as long as it takes. Just tell me you'll try." His voice cracked, and for a moment, I almost wished I could believe him. But deep inside, my heart was already gone. I remember the first time the fear hit me like ice. It was a Friday evening. Ethan had cooked dinner, my favorite, a creamy mushroom risotto. Candles flickered across the walls, casting shadows that seemed alive. He held my hand across the table and said, "Maya, don't you feel it? Don't you feel the life we could have?" I forced a smile and nodded. I said, "Yes, it's perfect," but I wanted to scream. I wanted to run. After dinner, he suggested we take a walk. We strolled through the narrow, foggy streets near the river. The mist curled around the streetlights like fingers trying to grab me. He stopped in front of an old oak tree, the same tree where he had first kissed me a year ago. He looked at me with hope in his eyes and said, "Remember this moment? I told you I would always find you." And in that moment, I realized he would always find me, but I could never let him in. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed, listening to his steady breathing. I thought about the choices I had made, about the lies I was living every day. I kept hearing a voice in my head saying, "You are trapped. You are trapped forever." The next morning, my best friend Leela called. "Maya, your voice, you sound like someone else. Are you okay?" I couldn't lie. I whispered, "I don't love him, Leela. I never did. I married him to forget someone else. And now I feel like a prisoner." There was a long pause on the line. Then she said softly, "Maybe you need to disappear for a while. Maybe that's the only way to see clearly. Disappear." The word echoed in my head like a dark promise. That evening, Ethan asked me something I wasn't ready to hear. "Maya, do you want a baby? I think it could fix this. Bring us closer." I froze. My hands trembled. The thought of carrying a life with a man I couldn't love made my stomach twist. "I'm not ready, Ethan," I said quietly. He nodded, but I saw the hurt in his eyes. He needed, more than I could ever give. Days passed. I began hearing noises at night. Footsteps when he was supposedly asleep. Shadows moving across the walls when the lights were off. I started leaving doors unlocked, leaving windows open, hoping to escape a feeling I couldn't name. Sometimes I thought I saw someone watching me from the street outside. One night, I packed a small bag. I planned to leave. I stood at the door, listening to him breathe, imagining his face when he woke to find me gone. I wanted to leave and never look back, but my hands shook and my courage faltered. The next morning, Ethan made me coffee. He kissed my cheek and whispered, "Good morning, my love. I believe in us." His words made me want to scream. Stop believing. Stop hoping. But I didn't. I just nodded. Weeks passed. I began leaving earlier for work, staying later, trying to make my absence normal. But the fear followed me everywhere. I couldn't escape the feeling that the apartment, the city, even Ethan's smile were closing in on me. Then one night, I saw a message on my phone from an unknown number. "Maya, I know what you're planning. Don't leave. You're mine." I froze. My pulse raced. I didn't know if it was a prank, a warning, or something worse. I locked the doors, checked the windows, and stayed awake all night. I realized then that leaving wouldn't be simple. It wouldn't be safe. I called Leela. I told her everything. The shadows, the whispers, the message. She said, "Maya, you need to disappear. You need to vanish. At least until you can figure out how to live without him controlling every corner of your life." That night, I finally acted. I left a note, packed my essentials, and walked out into the foggy streets. My heart pounded with fear and anticipation. I didn't look back. I didn't want to see him waiting, watching, hoping. I spent weeks in a small town miles away, staying in a guest house under a different name. Every time I looked out the window at the darkened streets, I wondered if he was following me. Every night, I imagined him finding me, confronting me, demanding what I could never give. And yet, for the first time in a year, I felt a flicker of freedom. I could breathe. I could think. I could be myself. I began to write again. I wrote about the fear, the lies, and the choices that had brought me here. I wrote about Ethan, yes, but also about me, about the woman I was discovering in the shadows of my own courage. One day, Leela came to see me. She hugged me tightly and whispered, "You're alive, Maya. You're really alive." And I was. I don't know if Ethan will ever forgive me. I don't know if he will ever understand why I had to disappear. But I do know this. I survived. I escaped the cage I was living in. I survived the man I once thought could save me. And I finally found the person I needed to be. I am Maya. I am not safe yet. I am not fully free. But I am breathing. I am living. And for now, that is enough. If you're listening to my story, if you've ever felt trapped, scared, or invisible, know this. You can disappear. You can survive. You can find yourself again.